browser games. In the words of my favorite radio presenter, I am one of a certain vintage. So I remember a time when all we had as kids were flash games on albino black sheep or cartoonnetwork.com, hanging out on public computers and playing Scorched Earth 2000. There's a simplicity and charm to browser games. So if you happen to be stuck in a place where you have a lot of downtime, you cannot use your phone, and on a computer that won't let you install any programs, then maybe this video will give you a couple of ideas for fun browser games to try, or at least something for you to do when your boss isn't looking. Welcome back to another video here on Mummified Games. I'm Tony, and today we're going to be taking a look at 5 different internet browser games available on itch.io today that you can go play. Number 1, Cardinal Chains by Daniel Nora. Cardinal Chains is a puzzle game. You start with a blue X square and a bunch of white squares formed into sort of an island. Your job is to start from the blue X, and in a chain of connecting squares, you need to fill in each white square. Rules are that you have to snake your way through the squares. No overlapping or going over a square you already filled in. Fill them in and you're on to the next level. All the white squares have 1s in the middle of them. After a few basic levels, they introduce squares with 2s in them, showing this new mechanic where you can only go up in numbers. If you snake from a 1 to a 2, you can only go to other 2s or move up to a 3 or higher number. I think this is a great mechanic that takes the basic concept of this game and moves it up a bit. And then once that's been shown and understood, then they take it up another notch, and instead of just the blue starting box, you get more and more colors. Eventually, along with blue, you get orange, green, red, purple, and more colors. Each inclusion to another color is again another layer of difficulty. You think that you can see a path around the squares, but really that color should have been going the opposite way, and a different color was meant to follow the path that you were thinking of. Like a lot of puzzle games out there, this game gets more and more difficult as the game goes on. There is no way I'm going to get all the way through the advertised 500 levels that are in this game. This game is a good time filler for sure. Number 2, Forget the Brakes by Fran Bertomeu Castells. I am beyond sorry. Oh my god, this is a hard one. In this game, you control 2 cheeky little train carts. They're tied together with a bar. The carts go running down a bunch of tracks, and it's your job to make sure that they don't crash. You can move the carts to another track above or below the current track they're on at different switch points. You control the back cart lane changes with W and S, and you control the front cart with I and K. Using these controls, you have to change over to one lane before they crash at the end of a line or get pulled off the tracks because 2 carts were more than 1 lane apart. The difficulty in this one is definitely the same thing as trying to pat your head and rub your tummy at the same time. You've got to develop some multi-function skills. Having your hands doing 2 different things at the same time, keeping an eye on 2 different carts on the left side of the screen while also looking at what's coming up next on the right side of the screen. Woof, that's a lot to manage. The gameplay is, as I described, simple, but the execution is the hard part. Developing the dexterity to do these things. But it's still a learnable game. You get better as you go along, and your hands start to understand what to do, like picking up a new controller. I know that when I moved from the Nintendo 64 to the GameCube controller, it was a learning curve for sure. And then you start to understand the game and what it needs from you. What's this? A new section? I'm no longer just moving through a forest? Ooh, a new town. Wait, that's a switch. Oh cool, a new way of switching lanes in the city. Nope. It automatically switches after a cart travels over it. So both your carts could be headed down the same track just fine, and then you run over this thing and, well, guess what? They're split now, and you have to fight to bring them back together on the same track so you don't have to split your brain in 2 just to make it down the track. Splitting your brain in 2? 2 brains. What if you cheated the system and made this a 2-player game? I have to try this. Hey, Bridget, come here and try this thing real quick. She's busy right now. Okay, well, as soon as I have someone to help try out 2-person version of this game, I'll let you know. Number 3, Monster Match by Axel Studios. A match 3 adventure combat game. Cool. You play as a lich, in designation and story reasons only. You have a home and you have a junk load of gold and whatnot. There are a bunch of heroes who want to come and take your gold. You make matches of monsters on the board and they fill up a vial of essence at the top. And when you fill it up, it makes one of those monsters. They go and fight the heroes, defending your home. Make a match of 5 in an L shape and you'll receive a potion. That potion will do your choice of 3 things. Shuffle the board, blow out one type of item on the board, like the ghosts or the skeletons for a while, or create a few random creatures and make more essence for your vials. There are 7 levels you play through, keeping the heroes at bay. Slowly, the levels get harder and harder to play on, going from 4 different creatures to match up to the max of 6. The game talks about how it's fast-paced, and let me tell you, I was squarely looking at the board, looking for another set to make the whole time. I didn't have time to go up and look at what monster was the closest to being made. It was go, go, go. I feel like I was doing a good job at what I did and the score I got, but I have no idea where I ended up at, since every time I tried to enter my initials after a game, it would freeze and I couldn't see where I ranked or anything. It's quite a fun game and quite frantic. I'd add it to a bag of small games to get you through a long trip or something. That's upsetting. My G key seems to be oohing out on me. That's frustrating and a bit of an annoyance. Number 4, Morbius by Paper Cookies. Wow, this game is unique. I hate it. Okay. So this game has a mind-blowing mechanic behind it. So you start playing on a large circle where you run left and right around this circle and pick up coins. That's nothing new. It sort of sounds like Super Hexagon, but a platformer. Yeah, so you have to figure out which way is up and all that jazz. But what if in the middle of a level, you suddenly unlock the level into a Morbius strip? Cool. Thanks. So you have to maneuver the map to be able to see what sides of the map you're currently moving on and where your little dude is. Developer, you are an evil person. Who hurt you? Who came and peed in your Cheerios? What happened to make you want to make a game like this? My personal tale of this game and what I struggled with was holding the spacebar for too long and then hitting some spikes with my head, and now I have to gauge my jumps to see where on a 3D area I'm going? There is no good here. Only evil lingers in this place. But long story short, you collect all the coins in the level and you open up the magical door to the next level. Standard kind of stuff. All these things that are cut and dry platform things work great in this game. It's the map that's a hornet's nest of spite. It's hard enough to sort of manipulate a 3D map in a 2D surface, but you find the right spot and eventually it all just works. Despite everything that I've said, I want to make sure that I'm clear. This is a good idea, and the design of the levels is great, and the idea to have it fold in on itself is perfect. I can only imagine how the game is going to keep building on different levels. I'm just going to hate it and struggle the whole way there. And finally, our last game, Galactic Wars by Volcano Bites. Galactic Wars is a Galactica clone, parody, homage thing. The game is a basic arcade shooter. You're given 3 lives and it's your job to rack up the highest score in a tiny version of every other left to right 2D shooter out there. This game is a simple little game where you randomly gain weapon power-ups or speed boosts to your ship. It's a nice little thing, but once you learn that's all you get for your ship, there's not much more to keep fighting for. But Galactic Wars EX does look good. That one looks a lot more polished and looks like more upgrades. Oh, but because of this game, I've actually fallen down a rabbit hole of what the Pico 8 is. Ooh, someone made a Desert Bus clone. So anyway, the best thing about Galactic Wars is that it gives you a constantly refilling bar at the bottom to show you how much firepower you have left. So you can count your shots, and if there are 3 aliens in a line, then blast off 3 shots, and then while those are flying forward, you can move on to the next alien. In this game, it has maybe 15 minutes of gameplay before you're ready to move on to something different. I know I was. And there you have it! 5 games that are playable on your browser. No installing, no extra controllers needed, no big party games that need a bunch of people. It's just go to the website on Edge and boom, you're ready to play. What do you all think? Do you want to tell me how high your scores were and how much better you are than me? Are there any other web games that are your go-to game when you don't have your phone and it's not your personal computer? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. In the meantime, I've got to go hit F12 and inspect the source of me being tired all the time and frame up a way to keep me awake and not so sleepy. I've got to go console my bed and chrome to sleep. If you want more from me, I'm so sorry I can't make more. I'll make sure to Firefox more out tomorrow. I'm on the edge of nap time for sure. I'm going to go Internet Explorer Dreamland. Oh my god, how many more internet puns can I make? You all do the YouTube dance. Like, sub, bell, comment your thoughts, and tell someone you know about these videos. And as always, friends, keep digging. We'll make it out sometime. See you in the next one.